Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the PDST live stream, How to Sword Fight. Today, we're going to start with the single-handed sword. Could be, sometimes it's called the side sword, could be a broadsword, could be a back sword, but it's a single-handed weapon with, for this instance, in the Renaissance style. So late 15th, early 16th century on. I'm going to be using a Schiavona, and John is using a 2-port Saxon hilt. So we're going to start with just the sword by itself. And what I want to talk about is, and we've talked about this in other videos, but I don't want to necessarily put hard edge-on edge deflections. That does a couple things. One, give me a swing at. It's really hard on my edge. That's not going to be good for my sword at all. And no, granted, if it's a choice between my sword or my face, my sword's going to take the hit every day. However, I'd like to train to not do that. And there's a difference between a block and a parry. A block stops the incoming energy. The problem with a block is that not only does it stop my opponent's incoming energy, it also stops my energy. Now, in order for me to do anything else, I have to stop it, start it, and then redirect it, and he's got time potentially to do something about it. That's a block. A parry redirects energy. I can drive it down, do it again. I can eat it, and so watch out. Go ahead and hit me. No, hit me. And you notice how I didn't actually stop his energy because I caught it. If you'll do that again slow. I found it and then slid with it. So I was moving this direction as he was continuing. Go ahead and hit me. Which means I'm back in place to strike again before he has redirected the energy that I didn't stop. But because I redirected it, it's not going where he expected it to be, and that's going to cost him time.
And it hasn't stopped it, therefore I'm now still in motion.
Right. And
so there's no restart for me.
Right, and I haven't stopped myself, and that's really important. So go ahead and just swing at me a little bit. If he's coming in, now, do you hear the difference?
Those are two hard blocks that I did there.
Yeah.
Which was edge on edge.
Why?
Because I was coming up to slam into you.
Right. Now, when we're doing these, and we got a request from one of our friends, his name is Dylan, he's in the movie industry. Dylan wanted to know about sword and dagger. But before I do any of that, I want to talk about sword. I'm going to use the block and the parry to tell two different parts of the story. If I block, I'm reacting. If I parry, I'm enacting. Let's just do it again. And you just move around. I'm going to rotate between block and parry.
Got it.
Because I want you to see the difference in what it affects. Go ahead. Now, there's big differences in there. If I'm blocking it, go ahead and swing at me again. I'm stopping his energy, and it's putting me completely behind my sword, which can tell the story of I'm a little nervous, or there's a lot of power coming in, which would also make me nervous. Do it again, give me that blow. That's a trained reaction entirely. So I can use a parry to redirect the energy to initiate a secondary action. I can use a block to stop his energy, and that's me hiding behind his sword, or that's giving me the opportunity to stop his energy so I can change the parameters of the fight. Go ahead and give me that blow again. Defend yourself.
Okay.
Cool. Do it again. That's a whole different fight right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because now I stopped his energy so I could, go ahead, take it away and get a disarm out of it. Anybody who's been in a sword fight, whether it's play or a tournament or whatever, at some point in time, give me that blow again slow, has done that. Everybody's done that. It's unpleasant. Got to make sure you move your sword first into the blow. And you'll notice it still leaves me lined up for my next action because he's most likely not going to just stand there and let me do whatever he wants or whatever I want. So as soon as he gets out of the way, I still have a tool that I can use. So as we're moving around, I can make the choice between doing a block or a parry. My opponent's action is going to, my opponent has the same choice. He can block or parry. Let's go ahead and move it around a little bit.
That was the worst footwork I've ever done.
Now, our footwork in a sword fight. Where were you moving?
I was moving away.
And you were focused on hitting my sword.
Yep.
And because you were focused on hitting my sword, it was kind of all response in front.
Wobbly everywhere. Yep. I was tracking your hand. I wasn't tracking you.
Yeah, and so that'll give me an advantage. That's another aspect that we're going to see in this kind of sword fight. Any fight, I should say. Are they watching my hand or are they watching the body? And there's a big difference. How would you describe the two between watching the hand or the body? And speak up a little bit because of your
Absolutely. Watching the hand is fearing the tool. Watching the person is understanding where the fight is.
Right. So once I understand where the fight is, this is one of my favorite questions. Can my sword hurt you? And the answer is no. My sword can't hurt you. If I put it on the ground, there's nothing it can do unless you trip over it. Get him, sick him. There's nothing my sword can do to hurt you unless I am controlling it. So the sword can hurt you. But our natural response is to watch and pay attention to the sword, not the person. This is a good note to point out that it's super important in both martial and theatrical. In the martial sense, I'm ignoring the sword so that I can deal with the person. In theatrical, I'm paying attention to the person because I need to make sure that we maintain our appropriate and safe measure, our distance. Martial arts, whether it's combative or theatrical, are two sides of the same coin. In both instances, we are concerned with time and distance. In the martial sense, I want to steal his time and lie about distance. So if he gives me a blow, I stole his time, do it again, because I set him there and he had to rotate it all the way around, but I closed distance, so I lied about distance because what looked like I was at, go ahead, I'm not going to move, you're going to make the hit, his perfect distance. When I stole his time, that allowed me to close distance to get into where I wanted. On the theatrical side, we are maintaining distance and lying to the audience about time because we want the audience to think that we're trying to kill each other. If John and I do that exact same action, but we're doing a show, go ahead and defend yourself.
Okay.
That was easy to do because it looked like the same thing. I'm going to do the martial side of it. Okay. Go slow. I set it aside and close distance to make the strike. On the theatrical side, I did the same action, but maintain distance, giving him the time to get his weapon into place. So now we are lying to the audience about distance. If we're doing this for film, the audience is the camera. And so we want to lie to them about how far we are from each other. When we're doing it martially, I want to lie to my opponent so he feels like he's in a safe place. And that's a quick overview of how to use the sword by itself. Let's do that again. Just move around. Whoa. Good, nice. But what if we have a secondary weapon? Now, because we're fighting with two weapons, I've got the sword and dagger. He's got the sword and buckler. We still want to, we can now choose on how I want to redirect or stop his action. We're going to be doing a lot of redirection, but this is going to be off of transfers. And there's going to be a couple things happening here. I'm actually probably I'm going to be doing more redirection than he is because he has a buckler. He's got something to put in the way. If I do that same thing, he's got a lot of force, or he can hit my dagger and just go around it and leave himself open. Or, I'm sorry, move to my opening. So I need to be aware of how I'm using the weapons. And when I do a two-weapon defense, I still have the option of a block or parry. If you give me a cut down at my head, my first action is going to be here. Now, this looks like a block, but it's not. It's actually at a high angle edge. Let's move a little bit closer. So I just want them to see the sword. Mm-hmm. Do it again. Oh, we got to go down a little bit. There we go. Now at this point, go ahead and push through. Easily, he just rolls over my flat. Go ahead and do that again. Just cut. But this action here means I'm already in a position to move my sword. So our two-weapon defense can be a transfer that, if I'm using an individual weapon, is very weak. Go ahead and do that again. It's not about a 1-2, it's a one end. I mean, they're so close together. Do it again. And we do that really slow, faster. Okay. Now go slow, real slow. You see how I'm finding it with the one blow. Do it again, real slow. I'm slowing down his point just enough that I can get my dagger in there. And with the buckler, he can do the same thing. Let's do that same thing. Now, as he comes through, he's got the buckler. Now, that's a bad place to stay because he's well within distance. So as he moves, he puts his buckler in the way, redirects it, and rolls his sword over. And look how that just brings it back into place. Let's do that together. Okay. Ready?
Ready.
And there's the double weapon defense with the buckler. Can we do it again? Even slower.
Sure.
I step out from underneath it. Fine, cut around. He just rolls his sword over. And drop your hand down a little bit. Nope, right here. Nope, right here. Put your sword on your buckler.
Ah, right there.
Yeah.
And that's
because if he put your sword on your arm where you had it.
Drives it into my arm.
But if he has it on here, he captures that. And you see how it just transfers straight to the buckler. And it removes his target behind his buckler. Whereas if he puts his sword behind his buckler, he leaves the target available. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Go and do it again. All right, go and do it again. There it was.
Yeah.
Now just roll it around. Well, it's that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go and do it again. Let's switch sides. Same thing. Now at this point, I can do something else. If he does a single weapon defense, so he defends with his buckler, he has a choice to make. Go ahead and just defend with your buckler. No, just with your buckler. He has a choice to make here. He can hit me, go ahead, or he can hit my sword. If he goes for me, because I have two weapons, go ahead and do it again and then hit me. I've got my defense. It's fairly simple. Go ahead and hit my sword. Now, because he redirected me, he's given himself an opening. So he blocked me with his buckler, then attacked my sword, not me, to open up the next action. Right?
Yep.
Go and do that again.
Okay.
The full sequence.
Full sequence.
That really throws me out of place, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That one actually, when he hit it, it was funny because he hit it in just such a way that he drove it right behind my leg. And when I tried to step, I tripped on my own sword.
That is exactly what I meant to do, by the way.
This is the thing that they always leave out of movies and books when you trip on your own sword. It's embarrassing, so nobody ever wants to admit it, but it happens. Just not to me. I've never done that.
Neither have I. I've seen it, though.
Yeah, I have a friend that it happened to.
Of a friend.
Go and do it again.
Full sequence?
Full sequence. And now we're getting both parries and blocks into the action. Earlier, I talked about putting yourself behind your sword. I want to do this again, but I want to focus really on the footwork for this one. Let's go real slow. He throws his attack. I'm not going to move. So there's his blow coming in. Go ahead and do it again. I step out. I transfer. Don't move. I've got the strike to his stomach or to his knee. I can't go to his head because his buckler's in the way, and we both know that. So as soon as I come in, I've got to go below it. So he rolls his sword over and captures that. But because he's still continuing in a circle with his hand, he takes it behind his shield. But look how that drops my point down because of the extension of his point. This is a concept to take into account when you're fighting. Can we switch sides again? Go ahead and do the double weapon, just the double weapon. Actually, move your sword. Move your sword. When he's blocking with just his buckler, I can follow the circle of the buckler and potentially take him because it's a small action. Now, there are techniques to counter that, but we're not talking about those right now. But when he puts his sword on his buckler, he elongates the length of his buckler. So that means to get off of it, I end up here. And now I'm well out of distance of any target. And when he adds his footwork to that, I'm here. He's well out of distance. He's moving to that side and putting me in a lot of danger. Let's do the full sequence again. And it just goes right in there. And just really messes, because he attacked my flat, it really throws my sword down. So how do I keep from getting my sword thrown down like that?
Use of your secondary tool.
I can't.
Yeah,
I'm
because
here.
it's too far out.
So this is when I block. Watch this. Do it again. I just turned my sword from here to here.
And I'm slamming into this, and I feel everything stop moving.
But I'm still in line. Let's do it again.
And right in line.
And my dagger stays up just in case. Now he's going to stop me from being able to stab him in the leg. Let's do it again. So now when I was here, don't move. I've got a straight line to his leg. All he's going to do is roll to his false edge. So roll over. And now I missed.
And I counter with a parry.
No. Yes, you counter with a parry.
Yep.
But he has two weapons. Now he punches me with his buckler. Punch somebody in the face with a buckler, and I promise they will be thinking about that buckler. Let's go ahead and do that again.
Oh, right, sorry.
And there it is. And it just kind of falls right in there.
Right into the place, yeah.
So this gives us the ability to use both weapons. Let's switch sides. Do it again.
Now,
I kind of surprised him a little bit.
yeah, we'll use a little bit.
Let's do it again. But because he had good footwork, he was out of the way. So I think what happened is you forgot to roll to your edge.
Exactly what happened.
Go ahead. Yeah. Now, because he rolled to his edge, see how it's going behind him? Now he just continues it back to tail guard. I bounce off his shield, and he's got a nice target. You see how that would work? With the buckler, you've got two ways to punch. You can punch like this, or you can open up and punch like this. Not that much. Yeah. So you're just catching more with the rim.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we want to use the rim?
With that thinner section right there.
Partly.
Or
It's also
distance.
Distance. Because hold it right in front of me, just like that. Missing me. Turn your rim in. Hitting me.
Yeah, just making contact there.
Right. Turn it flat. No, let me get on. So here, I'm out of the way. Turns his rim in. There goes 3 teeth.
Yeah.
So it changes the distance as well. I'm going to do something here, which he has done to me. Well, he did when I threw a buckler punch. I'm going to slip it. Right? You remember doing that?
I do remember doing that.
Because it works. And we have this video up of the two of us fighting for an junior high school. Kids are mean. Children are mean. They gave him a sword and buckler. No, they gave you
They gave me a spadone.
two-handed sword, a big two-handed sword. I had a buckler and a shield. No sword, just a buckler and a shield, and they made me fight with that. So we come through. We do the same sequence. He goes there. I go underneath, punch, drive it in, because I still have another weapon. You all right?
Yep.
I didn't hit you hard, did I?
Oh, you just got it tickling right next to the solar plexus. You are one tip width away from my solar plexus. Yeah. And I'm like, go away.
So let's do that again. And I just duck underneath and just using my whole body to drive it forward. Let's switch sides. Do it one more time.
Got it.
Then we'll call this. Ready?
Ready. Oh.
Just like the sword, because he's trying to punch me with the buckler, let's go again to the buckler punch.
Got it.
Slow. He's going here. I'm dropping down underneath, cocking my arm, and then just driving it forward. It's almost, go and put your buckler down. Oh, no, you need to put it down. Okay. He throws a hook with that. That's exactly what I'm doing. Switch sides. Let's do that again. Just that hook. Only difference between this and the sword work is I have an extra 1.5 foot of blade in front of me.
And a point on that, which is just going to make that all the easier.
Yeah. So, trade you.
Oh, cool.
So with that, we're going to stop. John, what did you learn today?
Going back to, so I have actually, aside from having the wonders of, so today was just a lot of fun, actually, first and foremost. This was just a bunch of a fun bit to go back to. I have actually not taken a actual serious breakdown of motion in sword and buckler in 9 years.
It adds up.
It
The
adds
time,
up.
the time goes away.
Yeah. So just getting back into the action system there and remembering one of the most important piece working with these two tools in combination is they're not two separate tools. They're two things working in sequence.
Yeah.
So remembering here that your sword can elongate your buckler's size and turn it from a buckler to a shield if you pair with it.
Yeah.
If you pair with it. Right? I can begin the catch on the top of my buckler and then pass you.
Or begin the parry with the sword. So give me a falso manco, nice and slow. Now, just roll your buckler over as you continue that way, as you continue to pull it. Look how much that adds.
And that just throws you even further than what that would do.
Switch sides, do that again. Find me with that manco.
And that just tosses you.
Yeah. So I have to really do it again. I can do the same kind of thing where I can attack his sword. Do that again. Ready? Nope, I did that wrong. Do that again. Only if I use my dagger correctly.
And now it's behind me in tail guard.
Yeah. So now I'm going to threaten his head and then take him in the thigh because I can. Or if we're telling the story, do that again, same thing. And then when I attack your thigh, don't go backwards, go that way.
That way. Got it.
And now look at the advantage you have.
I've got a nice good line to you there.
And everything I do, I'm now twisted, so I got to get out of the way. And now, rotate with me. Now we're telling the story of, holy crap, and I'm just trying to defend myself. Now, just to make it lots of fun, put your buckler on your shield, on your sword, and just walk at me.
Drive it in.
And that pushes me off balance. So now he's using his buckler to actually add to the grappling with my body. Can you see it?
I can, yeah.
So there's a ton of options that we can do, and they're a lot of fun to play with. Dylan, thank you for the suggestion and the question. And if you would like to see something on here, please go ahead and leave it in the comments, and we will go ahead and work on doing that.
So we have a nice message from Diana. I'm so sorry what I'm about to do here last thing. Herrera?
Yeah.
No, Hera. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Just landed in San Antonio, Texas. We'll need a sword to cut the hurricane storm on its way. Watching you both while in the drive-through at Bill Miller's barbecue, getting my iced tea.
Fantastic. Stay safe out there,
Really
Diana.
stay safe, folks.
So, thank you again for joining us. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the other side. All the best to you all. Boom.
Take care, everybody. And thanks again, Dylan.